Something is happening in our world.
I just wrote this piece that'll be world premiered by the Virginia Symphony Orchestra called I Wouldn't Stop There in the Words of a King. And it's for chorus and chamber orchestra. And it takes the words of Martin Luther King's last speech, his mountaintop speech. He said the speech days before he was assassinated. And it kind of focuses on the very beginning of his speech. At the beginning, he's speaking to God and asking him, like, if I could stop in any time, whether it was the French Revolution or when Martin Luther stamped the bill on the wall or the American Revolution, when would I live? And he actually suggested that the current time that he was in, 1968, it was an honor for him to live in 1968, witnessing his present-day struggles for human freedom. And so I loved that idea, and I loved applying that to our time.
We're going to have to grapple with the problems that men have been trying to grapple with through history, but the demands didn't force them to do it.
We have actual audio from Martin Luther King's speech that I've kind of cut up little snippets, and so you hear his words kind of interspersed between the orchestra, and then you hear the chorus urging the orchestra to get unstuck. The orchestra is kind of stuck in these musical fragments. They're kind of repeating them in different combinations, and they're kind of locked in. And the chorus urges the orchestra to get unstuck and say, I wouldn't stop there, or don't stop. And when the other mantra is nonviolence. And so the orchestra revs and revs and gets faster and faster, and then finally kind of explodes, and then we return back to the beginning, kind of in the spirit that struggle and progress is always a cyclical process. I am very honored that the King Foundation allowed us to use Martin Luther King's voice. It's truly an honor, as he said, it's an honor to witness the struggles of our time and to own them as our own.
As part of supporting this new musical work for the Virginia Symphony Orchestra, this grant also funded a community panel on the roles of religious music in African American culture.
We can't really talk about African American music, especially in the religious tradition, unless we mention that many of these people did not come to America without a culture. They came fully formed. They were also very accustomed to Christianity. Many of them from Angola, from the Congo, had been involved. Some of them had converted to Christianity probably a century prior to being forced to come to this country. And so you have to, when you're talking about the Black religious musical tradition, you have to include the African religious tradition, because that's the source of so much. It is the way in which people interpret their world. It is the way in which they express. So with African American music, especially religious music, you see the same kinds of things that you see in work songs as well as other music, and that is a call and response, a purpose, a meaning, an insistence on justice, on social awareness, on fighting oppression, whether that perspective is fighting oppression from evil forces or from human sources, is the same thing. And so as we look at the history of African American religious music, many of them started from the African traditions, utilizing the instruments, especially the drums. They were so important. The call and response. But there's also the dance that's a part of it, because it's not just music, but it's the entire body, it's the entire emotion, the entire mind, the entire entirety of the culture that's involved in that expression, reaching to God, reaching to one another to encourage, to help. And what we would see is people take that and they apply it to the world in which they find themselves. And so there's a merging, there's a hybridity that you see, a cultural hybridity, where you see this merging of both African and European cultural forms, which is why you would see the emergence very early on of what we call the spirituals. And these spirituals were not songs that simply talked about the hereafter. They were songs of protest.
Whenever God shows up, it always happens in the middle of ordinary life. That's why spirituality in black music feels so natural. It's not forced, it's not added on, it's simply how we tell the truth about our lives.
They were defining their agency. They were showing that they were leaders and they were taking control of their own world, their own spirituality, their own souls. And so often we ignore that and we look only to gospel music as doing that. But that tradition was there from the beginning. So as people look at the music, they cannot separate the music from the experiences and from the original cultures in which people came.
Keep on keeping on.